Ladies and gentlemen, it is fantastic to have you here. We're working on an all-hand tool integral, little small hunting knife, Coca-Cola handle, black oxide finish on the blade. It's a very fun project, and today we are gonna finish it. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy. So I first think I just need to clean up this hole a little bit. I wanna make sure that the holes line up in such a way that when that pin's in there, everything's nice and tight up here. Okay, that's good. It's tight. That's perfect. See, I was concerned that putting the pin in, we'd have it poorly lined up and we'd end up having it loose, but we were able to keep it tight. Very good. Very good. Oh, and does that feel good? So underneath here, we've got a nice 600 grit finish. Up here, we're still only with the smooth file finish, so we're gonna check that the facets are all good. The overall shape of it all is all good. And then, or now rather, we're gonna lock this puppy in the vise and we are going to sand this to its final resting point in terms of surface finish. Once we got that, we are gonna cut off the back end and we're making progress. Yeah. Oh, baby. Oh, that's just perfect. Ogly doggly. So now we have our butt roughed in at a 320 grit. Have a look here at what I did to protect it while we were gripping in the vise. I took a piece of leather, I wrapped it around the thing over some electrical tape, but I made sure the electrical tape didn't go over itself because I think that would create a seam that could risk damaging the wood. Just like that, and hopefully that has protected it nicely. And so with that, we can now continue working the thing and blending that 320 into our much higher grit finishes up here. Man, does that thing, does that feel nice? That's just, yes! It's exactly what I wanted, exactly what I wanted. Oh, I love that. Right, so right now you see we have a sharp corner on the edge of our wood, but when we come up, there's a little lip, right? We've got about a 10,000th lip, probably a little less. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do what's called an heirloom fit, which essentially involves just rounding off those slight corners so they roll into the steel a little more. I'm taking some 600 grit sandpaper and just running it on all of the 8 sides. So with that, it's now time to refinish the blade. We're doing a cold oxide finish on the blade, but of course you'll remember when I did that cold oxide finish, it came out a little splotchy and we had to rework the bolster, it's gotten scratched and all of that, so we're gonna redo that finish. So I'm gonna take off this electrical tape. I'm gonna clean it up with some Scotch-Brite, little Scotch-Brite pad. Wipe it down with some acetone. And into the cold ox solution we go. 20 minutes later, it's looking great. I've rinsed it off with water, dried it off, and so now it's time for some oil. Oh, rats, I just oiled it, and look how splotchy that looks. We gotta start again with the cold ox. So we'll degrease it, we'll Scotch-Brite it, and back in we go. I think this time I'm gonna use some fine steel wool. So into the cold ox, out of the cold ox, dry it, oil it, and there we go. I think that looks a lot better. So now all that's left to do is we need to get our pin stock ready. Again, we're gonna use bronze. I really like the look of that, and I prefer bronze over brass because it's just a little subtler, which I think is gonna work nicely with all of this, because this is a little bit of a subtle, gentlemanly knife. Actually, we've got some schmoo we need to clear up, but we have 1 millimeter of clearance to be able to do that. concept is a slightly rounded and polished pin. I used some of that 3M polishing paper again, that will just poke out, just ever so slightly. Ooh, just giving it a little bit of a texture, reminding you there's a pin there. I don't know if I like that. That hole isn't good enough for it, I don't think. Ah, that would have been such a nice thing to do. Have a look at that. You see how there's a gap there? That hole looks like it's a little bit overalized. There's a smaller gap on this side, bigger gap on that side. We got so close to having such a nice little pin. God, that would have been so lovely. So, oh well. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna push this out and we're gonna make another pin and we're going to hammer it slightly so it expands and fills some of that. And then we'll have to file and sand it flush. So it's a shame. Very much liked the idea of a little bit of a domed pin. Instead, we're gonna slightly rivet it. So I've got what I thought would be my final pin, and we'd kind of just hammer on it slightly and then not grind it because this is a hand tool project, file it flush and then call it good. Then I thought to myself, on my last project, I had the idea of doing domed pins, hammered, domed, riveted pins. And then I decided not to do it on the last project. And then I thought to myself, well, golly gee whiz, what a great thing that I could try learning today. So we're going to try learning it today. This is a name that you need to type into YouTube if you want to see a fabulous tutorial on this. And any other tutorials, Nick Wheeler's videos on YouTube are really, really fantastic. But let me explain a little bit of what I've got to do first to be able to dome this pin. We need, as shown in Nick Wheeler's tutorial, a jig like this to hold the blade and be able to position a block underneath the blade with a screw and a little stake with a little domed cup on the end, so that once we've peened one side, we can put it in the handle material. It'll be attached to the blade, it'll sit over this stake, and we can peen the top side without worrying about damaging the handle material. So what I've now got to do is we've quickly got to build up this jig. Righty-ho! So, where we are right now, we got this side of the assembly all sorted. We just need our little anvil sorted. What did we do? We surface ground this. We counterbored with a drill, not ideal. We screwed into this here that had a milled surface, so we get a nice 90-degree surface in here. These are pink Loctited in, and then we have 6mm and roughly 1/4-inch bolts here that'll allow this to camp a blade. What we now need is our piece that is going to support the handle. I'm not sure if I like the height of that. That looks a little high. That will set right there. The handle here. Yeah, I'm happy with that. We can go for it. So, I'm going to deburr this with a file, clean off my mag chuck, set it down. We are going to put some PPE on, and we're going to grind these faces into parallel. we go, we've got this sorted. We've got 5 magnets in the bottom, which hopefully means it's not too strong. Perfect. Which means that this now can be moved around as sees fit, but it's not going to be going anywhere on its own weight. It's nice and hefty. I think this will work lovely. So that is our little anvil area. Now all we need to do is take this, make ourselves up a little 12mm threaded stake thing, madoodah, madoohickey maroo. Oh no, maybe that is too tall. Yeah, with a nut. We got a problem. Uh-oh. I had a sneaking suspicion it was gonna be too tall, but only now have I actually just realized just how too tall it is. It's much too tall. Much too tall. It is much too tall. Well, into the milling machine. We gotta shave off at least a 1/4 inch off this block here. Problems? Nah. Just more time to make sparks. What a fun project this has been. I am truly thrilled to have got on the mill again, got on the lathe again, and do some machining, making this little beast. Oh, I got sidetracked. Oh no. I just remembered we were working on a knife. Well, I guess this isn't the finish of the knife, and it's gonna have to be another video. If you are new, please do hit subscribe, grab yourself some merchandise, alexsteeleshop.com, and we'll see you on the next episode, where hopefully I do actually stay on course and finish this knife. We've got some pin doming to do then.